Hello students, so this is Sai Krishna. So in this semester I am going to dealing with the electrical machines one. So already in the previous semester you have been completed the basics of electrical, right, BEE. So in that you have learned some of the terms related to machines, right. So this is the subject in which we need to cover DC machines, means DC motors and generators, as well as transformers, single phase and three phase transformers we need to cover in our electrical machines one. So the electrical machines one is a very important subject throughout. This may be helpful throughout your career. So be focused on machines. So coming to the machines, this machine has been divided into two parts as per your curriculum. So in this semester we are having electrical machines 1, the other part may be electrical machines 2. So you will study that EM2 in your next semester. So coming to electrical machines 1, it consisting of 5 units. So out of 5 units, in the first unit we need to focus on the magnetic circuits. Okay, so today in this PPT I am going to represent the concept of magnetic circuits. So in this we need to cover the introduction and magnetic circuits, and the property of magnetic circuits, and some of the definitions which are related to magnetic circuits. So coming to our first slide, introduction. So actually we know that a machine which may reduce the human effort, right? What is a machine? Which may reduce the human effort. So here, what about the electrical machine? So electrical machine is a device which converts the electrical power into mechanical power, or vice versa. Means generally in our electrical we will focus on motors and generators, right? So what about the motor, which receives the electrical energy and which may produce the mechanical energy? So what about the generator? With the help of mechanical we need to produce the electricity. So here these are the transducers actually. So what about the transducers, which may convert the energy from one form to another form? So if suppose the input form is mechanical and you need to convert that mechanical form into electrical, so we require a generator. If suppose the input form is electrical and you need to transform that electrical into mechanical, so the transducer is nothing but motor. So mainly in our electrical machines we need to focus, the transducers are two, electrical generator and electrical motor, right? So and one more device is transformer. We need to focus on the transformer. So if you compare what is the difference between the transformer and these transducers, so both are operating on the same principle, just the difference is the action of magnetic field. The difference is the action of the magnetic field. Okay, so let us see one by one what is the principle of the electromagnet. So already you have been studied, right, in your intermediate magnet. What is a magnet? Which attracts the iron pieces. Okay, so actually you have studied electric field, right? So there may be generally the fields are two types, electric field and the magnetic field, right? So here in your machines, DC motor or DC generator or transformer, we need to focus on the magnetic field. The operations of these three machines will completely depends upon the magnetic field. So what is electromagnet? Suppose you want to generate or you want to create a electromagnetism. So what you need to do? You should consider a conductor. You should consider a conductor or winding. Okay, any conductor, maybe copper, aluminum, silver. Okay, copper, aluminum, silver, these are the best conductors, right? So just consider a conductor and just supply current through that coil or conductor. Just pass a small amount of the current through that conductor, then automatically that winding or that conductor is going to behave as a electromagnet. So this is the way we are using to create the electromagnetism. So the only one thing you need to remember, any winding or any conductor which carries a current should be act as a electromagnet. So what is the function of the magnet? Which has to develop the magnetic lines of the forces up to certain area. Those magnets may be attract. They may have some attractive force. Okay, already you know that. If suppose you are creating any magnet by consisting of two poles, right, north pole and south pole. So the property of the magnet is which may generate the magnetic lines of the forces which are nothing but flux. So which is imaginary. Flux is imaginary. Okay, so the only thing is you need to remember here, if you want to create a electromagnetism, consider a conductor and pump small amount of the current through that conductor, then automatically you are able to create the electromagnetism. So this electromagnet we are going to use motors, solenoids, read-write heads for hard disk and tape drives, speakers, so on so. The only thing you need to learn from this slide is how to create the electromagnetism. How to create the electromagnetism. Okay. So this is the slide which represents how to create the magnetism. So here already you know that any magnet may consisting of two poles, right, north pole and south pole. So here magnetic field encircles that current source. So these are the current source. Dot and cross will be there. These two indicates the current directions. Current towards the observer means dot, current away from the observer means cross. Okay, so always you need to remember these points. Always the magnetic field. So around this current direction, these circles will represent the magnetic field. Okay, so for the dot, the magnetic field direction is anti-clockwise. For the cross, the magnetic field direction is clockwise as per our diagram. Okay, so second is field is perpendicular to the wire and that field direction depends upon the which direction and the current is flowing in the wire. So this field direction will depends upon the current direction. If the current is towards the observer, okay, magnetic field direction may be clockwise or anti-clockwise. If suppose the current direction is away from the observer, then the direction is reverses compared to the previous case. Okay, so this circular magnetic field developed around the wire follows the right hand rule, right hand thumb rule. So how to identify the magnetic field direction means, if suppose you consider your right hand, okay, so just hold your right hand, okay, you close all the fingers except your thumb. Okay, so just you put your thumb in the direction of current. So what about the dot here? Towards the observer means we are the observers, we are observing your conductor. Suppose this is the conductor, you assume that dot is a conductor and the dot will indicate the direction of the current. So towards you, so just you put your thumb towards you, right? The thumb indicates the direction of the current towards you. So if you put your thumb towards you, so what about the curved fingers? The remaining fingers will indicate the direction will be clockwise, right? Direction will be which direction? If suppose the thumb will be towards you means the remaining curved fingers may be the anti-clockwise direction, right? Anti-clockwise direction. So what about your cross? The current direction is away from you. Okay, so away from you means like this. So it is away from you. What about this curved fingers will indicates? It is away from you. So what about your curved finger indicates clockwise direction. Okay, so remember that always. Dot indicates the current direction towards the observer, cross indicates the current direction away from the observer. If it is towards from the observer, then the magnetic flux or the magnetic field direction will be always anti-clockwise. If it is away, then magnetic field direction is always clockwise direction. In this way we need to find the magnetic field direction by using the right hand thumb rule. And remember one more point, the magnetic flux always will travel from north pole to south pole. Okay, outside of the pole. In inner side from south pole to north pole. Okay, so move to the next slide. So what are the properties of the magnetic lines of the forces? So already you have studied in your intermediate, right? So always these lines will travel from north to south outside the magnet. Okay, and these are the continuous. And if suppose the magnetic lines of the force in the same direction, they are tend to repel. If suppose in opposite direction, they are going to be attractive, right? North north repel, north south attract. And these lines cannot be cross each other. Okay, magnetic lines of the force cannot cross each other, they may not be intersect each other, right? So these are the main properties you need to remember about the magnet. So move on to the next slide. So here in this slide, this is an important slide because here we need to discuss what are the different ways. Okay, so here the four basic principles describes how magnetic fields are used in these devices. Okay, so already we have studied, we need to focus, already I said na, we need to focus on motors, generators and transformers as per our electrical machines 1 syllabus. So in these means in these devices, what are the ways, by using which ways, by following which methods we are creating, we are operating these devices. Let us see. So what is the first property or first principle? A current carrying wire is nothing but conductor. Okay, a current carrying wire produces a magnetic field in the area around it. Already I said, right? Consider any conductor, pump a small amount of current through the conductor, then that is going to be acting as an electromagnet. Magnet means which has to generate the magnetic field up to certain area, depends upon the strength. The strength will depends upon how much current you are pumping. Okay, so next, a time changing magnetic field induces a voltage in a coil if it passes through the coil. Means if suppose you are taking a conductor, okay, you are pumping AC current, the current will changes continuously. Okay, from 0 to maximum to 0 in positive direction, again from in the negative direction, 0 to maximum to negative. AC means alternating current, continuously it will change depending upon the time. Okay, when the current will changes, the changing current is flowing through the conductor, then what happens? Changing magnetic field will be developed. So whenever a time changing magnetic field developing, that may induces a voltage in the coil. Okay, just remember. So this process we are using in a transformer. Means simply for the transformer we are supplying alternating current and we are creating alternating magnetic field. With the help of that alternating magnetic field, the voltage may be induced, which is nothing but EMF, electromotive force, which is also known as a voltage, one form of the voltage, right? So what about the third principle? A current carrying wire, same, in the presence of magnetic field has a force induced on it. This is the function of the motor action, right? So whenever you are placing a current carrying conductor in the magnetic field, means first you need to generate the electromagnet, we need to create the electromagnet, right? So under the electromagnet we need to place a current carrying conductor. Under the electromagnetic field we need to place the current carrying conductor, then automatically the mechanical force will be developed. This principle we are using in the DC motor in action. So we will discuss later clearly. Just I am giving an idea in the transformer which method, which principle we are using, in the DC motor which principle we are using. So what about the generator? Let us see. So in the DC motor what we are doing, simply we are placing the current carrying conductor under the magnetic field. So here a moving conductor in the presence of the magnetic field in the generator. Okay, if you want to operate a machine as a generator, a moving wire or the moving conductor we need to place in the presence of the magnetic field, then we are able to create the generating action. Okay, so by using these three principles, second, third and fourth, right? So we are going to operate our transformer and motor as well as our generator. Okay, so just focus on this slide. So next, examples of the electromagnets. So electromagnet can be made by winding the conductor into a coil and applying a DC voltage, right? If you want to create a electromagnet, take a conductor, twist in the form of coil, which is nothing but your inductor, or you may pronounce as a coil. Okay, just apply a DC voltage, means just you need to pump a DC current, a small amount of the current, then automatically the electromagnet will be generated. So here if you observe in the first diagram, it is here we haven't taken any core, so then air is acting as a core. In the second diagram we have taken iron as a core. Okay, which one is best? Means iron is a magnetic material. So when you are using the core as a magnetic material, then the magnetism or the strength of the magnet is more, or else the magnetic fluxes may be passes through this medium, right? So that's why generally we will prefer iron core. Okay, the line of the flux formed by current flow through a conductor combine to produce a larger and stronger magnetic field. The center of the coil is known as the core. This center part is nothing but your core. Here air is acting as a core, and here this part is there now. So here iron is acting as a core. Clear? In the first one, the core is air. Here in the core is iron. Right? So moving to next slide. Because the magnetic field around the wire is circular and perpendicular to the wire. Magnetic field, how the magnetic field be placed? It is in the circular shape and perpendicular to the conductor. Always the magnetic field is circular in the shape and perpendicular to your conductor. Okay? An easy way to amplify the wire's magnetic field is to coil the wire. Okay? So if you want to increase the strength of the magnetic field, so what you need to do? Simply you need to increase the number of turns. Clear? Because if you are taken only 1 turn, okay, how many fluxes may travel through this 1 turn compared to the 2 turns? Less. Compared to the 3 turns? Less. Compared to the 4 turns? Less. So how many number of turns you will increase? Means if suppose you are increasing the number of turns, then automatically more number of the fluxes may travel through this core, right? So the magnet strength may be increases. So greater the number of turns means the strength of the magnet will also more. Moving to the next slide. So till now we have been discussed about the magnetic field, how to create the electromagnet and different types of the transducers, and what are the principles we are adapting for those transducers. Generally the transducers we need to focus DC motor, DC generator and transformer. Okay, so in the transformer simply we are applying time changing, okay, time changing magnetic field, then we are developing or we are getting induced voltage, which is nothing but EMF. So what about the DC motor? Current carrying conductor under the magnetic field. We are placing a current carrying conductor under the magnetic field. What about the generator? Moving conductor in the presence of electromagnetic field. So by using these principles we are operating the transformer, DC motor and DC generator. Now some of the definitions we need to learn related to magnetic circuits. Okay, coming to the electric field or electric circuit, the main component is current, which is defined as flow of electrons. Okay, here we need to focus on the flux. We need to focus on the flux. Okay, so already you know that whatever the flux, magnetic lines of the forces which are developed by a magnet, which is nothing but a magnetic fluxes which are imaginary, which is denoted by phi symbol. The unit of the flux is Webers. So 1 Weber is nothing but 10⁻⁸ lines of forces. Magnetic lines of forces are nothing but flux now. So the unit of the flux is Weber. So 1 Weber is nothing but 10⁻⁸ lines of the forces. Okay, so next terminology, flux density. In the name itself, flux density means per unit area how many fluxes, which is nothing but flux density. So as per your formula, B is nothing but phi by A. Phi is the flux and A is the area. Phi measured in Webers, area measured in meter square. As per your formula, the flux density unit is Webers per meter square, but the SI unit of the flux density is Tesla. SI unit of the flux density is over Tesla. Clear? Flux and the flux density is clear now. Okay, next, magnetomotive force. In electrical terminology, EMF, electromotive force. Coming to the magnetic circuits, magnetomotive force. Okay, so magnetomotive force is nothing but the amount of the flux density, set up in the core depend upon the 5 factors. Generally this magnetic motive force will depends upon the 5 factors. What are those? Current, number of turns and material of the magnetic core, length of the core and the cross-sectional area of the core. Okay, let us see how it will depends. Okay, actually this is defined as the ability of the coil to produce magnetic flux This is the ability of the coil to produce magnetic flux, which is nothing but your magnetomotive force. Okay, to produce a magnetic flux, how much effort we need to apply? So which is nothing but the ability of that winding, ability of that conductor, okay, to produce the magnetic flux, which is nothing but your magnetomotive force. So whatever the electromotive force, which is nothing but voltage, the force which is required to move the electrons, right? In the same way here, to produce the magnetic flux, how much force we need to apply? What is my ability, which is nothing but your magnetomotive force. So which is defined as the product of the number of turns and current. Product of the number of turns and current. Already we know that. What is? If you want to generate the magnetic flux, we need to apply a force which is nothing but magnetomotive force in terms of magnetic field, right? So if you want to generate the flux, what we need to do? We need to consider a conductor and we need to pump the current. So if you want to generate the flux, the required quantity is current. So this current will depend upon the number of the turns now. If 1 turn, less amount. If 2 turns, more amount of the current required. 3 turns, more. 4 turns, more. So this MMF is nothing but the product of the number of turns and the field current or current flowing through a conductor. Clear? So magnetomotive force is nothing but the ability of a coil to produce a magnetic flux, which is defined as the product of the number of turns and the current. The unit is number of turns, or the turns. Current is ampere. So ampere turns is a unit for your MMF. Ampere turn is a unit of MMF. Okay. Flux density and magnetomotive force will be clear till now, right? Move to the next slide. Magnetic field intensity. Magnetic field intensity, which is defined as MMF per unit length. Already we know that what is MMF, right? So just to divide MMF with respect to the length, then we will get the magnetic field intensity, which is represented by letter H. Okay, MMF means the product of the number of turns and the current, length L. So MMF unit is ampere turns and length is meter. So the unit of the magnetic field intensity is ampere turns per meter. The unit of the magnetic field intensity is ampere turns per meter. Okay. So next slide. Magnetic flux linkages. Till now we have studied about the flux only, which is denoted by phi, right? So what about the magnetic flux linkages? Those flux has to link with the coil only now. So coil may be formed with number of turns. So the flux linkage is nothing but the product of the number of turns and the flux. Clear? N is the number of turns and phi is the flux. Clear? So one more thing you need to remember, inductance, right? So consider a conductor twist in the form of coil, which is nothing but inductor, right? So generally the inductance is defined as the ratio of flux linkages and the current. Your inductor is defined as the ratio of flux linkages, lambda, with respect to the current. So from the definition of the inductor we can write lambda is equals to Li. Lambda is equals to Li. So if you want to write the formula for velocity or voltage, the rate of change of flux linkage is nothing but your voltage. What is the voltage? Rate of change of flux linkages, right? So d by dt of lambda. So what is the lambda value? Li. Just substitute here. So V is equals to d by dt of Li. But we know that only current may change with respect to time. Inductance is constant. So V is equals to LdA by dt. That is only the property of your inductor now. What is the property of the inductor? It will oppose the sudden changes in the current. So di by dt, V proportional to di by dt. When you will remove the proportionality, we need to add some constant, right? So that is your L. So V is equals to L di by dt. Right? Already in your BEE, the basics of RLC, right? So that concept here. Clear? So next, reluctance. Yeah, this is somewhat important. Most of the competitive exams, they may focus on the reluctance formula. He may do a small problem in the competitive exams. Okay. So here, what is a reluctance? Okay, what about the resistance? It will opposes the flow of current, flow of electrons, which is nothing but your resistance in the electric field. Same resistor there, here reluctance, that's it, the difference. There electric field, here the magnetic field. So what about the reluctance? Opposition of a magnetic circuit. For what? For magnetic flux. So it is opposition of a magnetic circuit to setting up of a magnetic flux in it. Okay, simply it will opposes for the flow of magnetic flux. Okay, so just focus here how to obtain the formula for the reluctance. Okay, so we know that the flux density B is equals to phi by A. The flux density B is equals to phi by A. From that, shall I write phi is equals to BA? Clear this statement, right? Next MMF. So MMF is denoted by here capital F. What is capital F? MMF. Okay, we know that H. What is H? Magnetic field intensity. What is the formula for the magnetic field intensity? MMF by L. MMF per unit length, right? Shift your L to RHS, then MMF will become H into L. MMF will become H into L. Clear? MMF will become H into L. Then now you write down flux by MMF, phi by MMF, flux by MMF. Okay, so what is flux? BA. Clear? MMF HL, right? So what about the B? Already from your EMF subject, the relation between the B and H. Okay, magnetic flux density and magnetic field intensity. B is equals to mu H. Mu is here permeability, right? So just substitute instead of B as a mu H. So whatever the mu naught into mu R. Mu naught is the permeability of the free space and mu R is the relative permeability, right? Mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7. Mu R, if it is a air medium, then mu R value should be 1, or else some other medium he will mention the mu R value. Okay, so if you substitute here, so what you will get here, HH will get cancelled, then mu naught mu R by L. A will be there, right here, mu naught mu R A by L. Then shift your MMF to RHS. So flux will become mu naught mu R A by L F. Okay, just arrange this formula, flux. So flux is equals to F is nothing but MMF by L by mu naught mu R mu is there now, which is nothing but your S. Here S is nothing but reluctance. Your S is nothing but reluctance. So shall I write now, reluctance is equals to MMF by flux. Reluctance is equals to MMF by flux. So reluctance is defined as the ratio between the MMF and flux. Reluctance is defined as the ratio between the MMF and flux. In some problems he may give directly the MMF value or else the number of turns and the current, simply product. Okay, simply multiply those two, you will get the MMF, and directly he may give the flux value, right? Or else in some problems he may give the length, area and the relative permeability value. Then we need to use the S formula, L by mu naught mu R A. By using this we need to find the reluctance value. Clear? So next we will move to next slide. Permeability. So already you know that. Okay, so what is the permeability? The property of the magnetic material which indicates the ability of the magnetic circuit to carry the electromagnetic flux. Means whatever the core you are using, through the core the flux has to travel easily. It will provide the path for the flux. It will provide the path to the flux. Okay, so whatever the material you are using, that material will create easy path. Okay, the material may accept easily the flow of the fluxes, which indicates which is nothing but your permeability. So which is defined as the ratio between the magnetic flux density and the magnetic field intensity. Already you have studied in your EMF. B is equals to mu H. So what is unit for the permeability? Henry per meter. The SI unit of the permeability is Henry per meter, and mu naught value. Okay, permeability of the free space or air or non-magnetic material. So what is the formula value? Mu naught 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. 4 pi into 10 to the power of minus 7 Henry per meter. Right? So here we need to focus the two terms, residual magnetism and magnetic saturation. So what is a residual magnetism? Let us see. If suppose you have been taken a conductor, okay, and you are passing a small amount of the DC current and you are creating electromagnetism, right? Then after some time you are not pumping the current through that conductor, still it is going to be acting as electromagnet. So this mechanism is nothing but residual magnetism. It is a magnetism which remains in a material when the effective magnetizing force has been reduced to zero. Okay, magnetizing force has been reduced to zero, then also some magnetism property will be existing. So which is nothing but your residual magnetism. Okay, why all the motors are self-starting? Because already some residual magnetism will be there in the DC machine. Already some residual magnetism will be there. So obviously in initial itself we will get some EMF, right? Clear? Residual magnetism. So what about the magnetic saturation? So magnetic saturation is nothing but, suppose you are taking a current and voltage, right? You are increasing the current up to 10 amperes, then you are observing the change in the voltage from 10 to 40 volts, 10 to 50 volts, like that. So after 10 amperes, suppose you are increasing the current after 10 amperes, 11, 12, 13, even though there is no change in the voltage is constant 40 volts only, then which is nothing but saturation. So how to define the magnetic saturation? The limit beyond which the strength of the magnet cannot be increased. Is called as a magnetic saturation. Already I have said that if you want to increase the strength, what we need to do? We need to pump the more amount of the current, or we need to increase the number of turns. But how much turns we need to make? Maximum. Suppose the magnet may develop 10 power 8 lines of the Weber, suppose. So for that purpose we need to provide only 4 turns. After 4 turns, if you will provide the number of turns, waste, because already it has been reached the maximum value. So even though if you will increase the number of turns, there is no change in the strength of the magnet, so which is nothing but your saturation. Clear? So students, today we have covered, what are the topics we have covered till now? So we covered the concept of magnetic circuits, right? So magnetic circuit, introduction and the properties of the magnetic circuits, and the principles which we are using in our transformer, DC motor, DC generator, as well as the terminology related to magnetic circuit: flux, MMF, okay, flux density, magnetic field intensity, reluctance, okay, and the permeability, and the terms magnetic saturation and the residual magnetism. These are the topics we have been covered till now. Okay, so we'll meet in the next PPT. I hope you understand everything. Okay, if you have any doubts, please contact through LMS or through WhatsApp. Okay, thank you. Stay safe.